So, what do you think it is about Billy the Kid? I mean, since I write The Curse of Billy the Kid, I mean, I was drawn here originally for the history of the Lincoln County War. What do you think it is about Billy himself that interests people into coming out here, other than like the energy?
He's a good old-fashioned outlaw.
Yeah.
That is literally it. Most people who, especially if they come from the East Coast or the far West Coast, this area is the area of outlaws. And it doesn't matter that Billy the Kid originally came from New York. Yes, they get stuck here. But originally, Billy the Kid is from New York. He traveled down to New Mexico doing whatever it was he was doing, but he became an actual outlaw. And I think it's that basically what people believe in the old-fashioned cowboy, the old-fashioned outlaw, that Billy the Kid is just centered around. And I think most of what people see in movies and films and TV shows for outlaws or cowboys is based around what Billy the Kid and his gang was. Like, they are that good old-fashioned, true to the blood outlaw cowboy. And I think that's what draws them to.
And it's never gets old.
No. I halfway through your book. I've read many other books about Billy the Kid. I've learned history about Billy the Kid through school, because history of New Mexico,
right?
The movies that have come out about Billy the Kid, and it's just like, you know what? I just can't get tired of it.
It's an interesting thing. People do not tire of him, and it doesn't matter if you wrap it in fantasy or if you wrap it up in whatever. There's a book that I have that I found in Barnes and Noble that's Billy the Kid and Cthulhu. I'm not joking.
Oh my god, I need that book.
It's amazing. So I haven't read it yet because my rule is I can't read until I finish writing this. I don't want to so it's on my shelf with all my research books for me to read that, to be like, what is this? We found it like maybe 2 months ago. Someone was like, have you seen this? I'm like, no, but I don't have a choice but I have to buy it. So it's now on my shelf waiting for me.
Yeah, and I do know, like, with me personally, my dad actually has 5 history books that involve Billy the Kid. And I've read all of them. And even with knowing what history I do of Billy the Kid, working with Lincoln, working with Fort Stanton, working with the area, going to Fort Sumner, where apparently his grave is. I never get bored with Billy the Kid. I can be 120 and I'll still be fascinated with Billy the Kid. Well, and I think that's what happens with a lot of people. They find that one thing that it doesn't matter how often they read or learn about it. It will always be fascinating to them, especially when you find out, like, especially information where, like, oh, well, maybe Billy the Kid didn't actually die.
And that's so funny she should say that, because the question that I'm ending all of these on is a question I didn't prep anyone for. Did Garrett kill him?
Truthfully, me personally, with all the experiences that we have felt in Lincoln, what I have felt in Fort Sumner, I do believe that yes, he did. And the person or person that they think is Billy the Kid, the photo of him, Billy the Kid lived, I actually think that he's either somebody who is closely related to him, whether brother, cousin, brother, whatever, or a son. I do not believe it is actually Billy the Kid himself, because it just does not feel right.
Right.
It does feel like he has passed, and where he is passed is where he has passed.
Do you want to know, I'll tell you this fun story and we'll end on this, I guess, just so I can see what you think. So last time I went out to where he was killed, I went out to the actual spot where he was shot. And I took Caden with me. As you know, animals. And so we came right up to the edge of that, because I don't know if you've been there. It's like, it actually goes out in like a little like triangle area. And Caden stopped, like he wasn't allowed to go further. And so I said, and I asked if we could pass. And the next second, Caden, move it along. And then he went over. I'm not kidding. I have photos of this. He goes over, turns around, and sits down next to the white block that says Billy the Kid was killed here. And he sits down next to it and looks at me. I said, come on, we can go. He wouldn't move. He laid down right there. And I finally was like, Billy, can you stop petting the dog? Can we go? And I was like, but it was funny because I was just like, but Caden wouldn't leave. He was very happy to sit right there. Right there. No reason why, just, and it wasn't, he didn't go any further. If I walked around, he didn't move. He sat right there. And I was like, okay then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to actually again ask permission for us to leave because dog wasn't going.
Yeah. Well, and for the most part, like, because I've been to the same spot. My dad took me there. And he took me there when I was a sophomore in high school. Because we were doing a little bit of extra New Mexico learning tours and what have you. And my dad took me. And I literally, it felt like I was walking into a wall. So I did, like, under my breath, just so, because my parents didn't need to know that, you know, I can see dead things or feel dead things. It's like, hey, may I please pass? Let me on, keep going. As soon as I got to his marker of where he was killed, I felt more of like there was someone there, and whoever was there wanted to know that, yeah, you know what? I'm here. I'm not where people think I am. I am here. Because a lot of people do believe that he's laid down in Fort Sumner, where he's not. His soul is actually where his death marker is. And that's why I do believe that no, he died. They killed him. He did not survive.
It's interesting because I asked that I'm not prepping anybody. It's the last question I've been asking everyone because I'm like, what do you think? What do you think? Because you know, and one of the things we've all talked about is the fact that it is the question of didn't he, that has opened up so much fiction for him, and I think it lends to and we've all talked about how it lends to the fascination.
Yeah. Well, so. I laugh because it's the same thing, like kind of with Elvis Presley. They're like, oh no, he never died. Here's pictures of him in old age. I'm like, are you kidding me? He died.
Right.
He full on died. He had a heart attack. He died. That's just, you know, someone who happens to look like him. People have doppelgangers.
Yep.
I have one. I had one in high school. She looked exactly like me. The only difference was her face was slightly rounder around the cheeks. But we looked exactly alike. People would think she was me. Other people thought I was her.
I haven't had that yet, so probably better for one.
I've never in my life met anybody who looked exactly like me. I've seen pictures of one of my cousins. I look similar to her, and she's the only other redhead in the family. So when I go to Carlsbad High School and there's somebody who looks identical to me, you're like, okay, doppelgangers exist. So it could be very well that people are thinking that this person that is Billy the Kid that survived is just a doppelganger.
Someone who looks very similar. Someone
who's very similar to this person.
Yeah.
And it does happen. It's very much there.
If I may interject one extra
real quick, because we're going to close down here.
Yeah. I did talk to a psychic who's become my friend. He lives in Albuquerque. But he did tell me once when I was talking to him and I was asking him questions, he did say that one time he asked the question, did Garrett get you? And he heard the voice in his head, like of Billy theoretically, and he got me.
Yep.
So
I think I know which guy you're talking about.
Yes.
I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and he's the same psychic that did the I can't think of the name. The Dolly House.
Yeah, the Dolan House.
Yes, the Dolan House, where he knew something was underneath the floorboards in the bedroom, and when they finally got down there with the camera, they found the gun. Yep. Because Dolan was scared and kept guns.
Yep.
But that was a lot of people. I mean, that was the time.
It was the Wild West.
Yeah.
If you didn't keep a gun, you were insane.
Yeah. Well, also Dolan was into all kinds of things, and he made enemies, and he also had loyal friends like anyone else. But I think he worried about his enemies a lot because he said the psychic guy that we're talking about talked about how he used to pace in there, and that there was a door to the back of his that room was his study, and that there was a door in and a door out from the back. So if someone came in, he could get out the back.
Yeah.
So.
And I've heard those footsteps.
Yeah.
We went and ate there when Dolan House, or before me and Brandon started, actually before we moved here, we had come up for the summer, and Brandon brought me to old Lincoln days, and we had gone and eaten at the Dolan House, and I was like, oh, let's go check out some of the different rooms and stuff like that, and they'd let us go to the back and all that cool stuff, and sure enough, in that one area that would have been his study, I swear it literally, I thought Brandon was actually walking up on me. I'm like, oh hey, and I turn around and no one's there. No one is there. So I was like, okay, there is someone here. Cool. I'm sorry, I'm in your area. I will leave now. But you can tell that whatever was there was pacing, just back and forth, back and forth.
And that's what he felt when he was there too. Well, folks, I hate to cut this off because this has been a really awesome discussion because we're like 27 minutes and over.
You know what? We're the best interview ever.
Ever. It's because we have wine, right?
Yes.
Right? We have wine and we have books.
And I mean, if you ever get a chance, check out the Heart of the Desert, Eagle Ranch. If not, look for me. I can tell you what you should and should not be eating because I also work for New Mexico State University.
That's true. And if you are interested in knowing more about the paranormal of Lincoln County, and if you are someone that loves to really experience that and go back in time as well, when Lincoln reopens and when we can have the tours after dark and all that, make sure you guys find time to come on out and experience it with Lincoln County Paranormal and take those tours, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to learn a lot. And you get to hang out with these two amazing ladies.
Booyah.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.